Hello everybody! Challenge X coming at you with a very exciting video. Today, Ankama released a devlog announcing a pretty major change that's coming to the mechanics of the fundamental mechanics of the game, which is pretty huge. We're gonna jump right in, folks. I am a little bit under the weather, so please bear with me here. And yeah, this devlog is about stat-based passes. This is something I was thinking about making a video about this, how the passives are just so imbalanced across the elements. And actually, I think in one of my previous news videos, I did mention something about wisdom shouldn't give XP anymore. And what do you know it? This is a change that actually made. So we're gonna dive right in, folks, and strap in. This might be a long one or be a short one, I don't know. But we're here to talk about Dofus, so we're all excited here. In this devlog, we'll be discussing a project that's been important for us for a number of years. Oh, so yeah, so they've been thinking about this for quite a bit too. Which is due to be included in an update this year. The overhaul of stats, characteristics points, thresholds. Ooh. Things to note here, this change will not be featured in the next update, 1.58, and it will be in a later one. So they're just trying to see how people are reacting to it, I assume. Trying to see what's the feedback on it, which is great. Get that stuff early before you commit, because sometimes people, they have valid points sometimes. Unlike most devlogs, this one's being posted far in advance of the change to be implemented. Here, we're going to represent all the changes we're planning, as we would do it in any devlog. But the main goal is to gather your feedback as early on. What did I say, folks? Challenger EX knows. He knows. There's a reason why, but I'll keep that a secret. Respond to your concerns as best we can, and of course, make any necessary changes to our proposed changes before rolling them out on the game servers. Start keeping in mind that when the changes are rolled out on the game servers, there will be a way for you to redistribute your stats. Now you may peacefully read on. Alright. Introduction and status report. For starters, we'll explain what we mean by passive in the context of the stats, and we'll give their current status. In Dofus Touch, each passive has a set of stats that determine its potential in combat. Some of these stats can be modified. Vitality, strength, and so on. Yeah, so these are every time you gain a level, you get like 5 stat points that you can put them into different attributes. So those are the stat points we're talking about. While others are determined by external factors like equipment, resistance, pushbacks, etc. When we refer to passives here, we're talking about the stats that can't be directly modified by the player, but which are nonetheless based on modifiable stats such as dodge gained through increase of agility. So the way it's kind of laid out right now, strength gives you pods, intelligence gives you heals, chance gives you prospecting, and agility gives you dodge, lock, and crit. And in the video I was gonna say how agility is just so OP because obviously strength, the pods, they're useless in combat. Intelligence, the heals. Unless you're a healer or very niche with a healing weapon, you're not getting too much out of it. Prospecting, of course, drops, and agility just across the board. Helpful in combat, just in general. Let me make sure the music's not too loud for you guys here. Give me 1 second. No, it shouldn't be too loud. All right, there we go. Let me see. Yeah, and then wisdom gives you more XP, of course. Combat experience, points of wisdom. Yeah, wisdom also gives you parry and reduction in AP and MP, which was good for like the old seller builds. Pods, yep, controlled by strength, healing, intelligence, chance, prospecting, agility, dodge, lock, and crits. Oh, and of course, strength gives you neutral damage, which it's not really that big of a deal. It's not really adding anything passive to the fight. Issues. We feel that the system, albeit appealing, has various problems. Yeah. Yeah, it sure does. Here are a few of the ones prompting us to make the updates on these passives. Bonuses are unequally distributed. Some stats provide quite a few bonuses, while others only affect one. Some passives are useful in combat, and others are only useful out of combat. Some bonuses are of interest to everyone and shouldn't be attached to a specific stat. This is true for experience earned and for prospecting. Putting points into certain stats to give you bonuses like XP is prospecting tends to negatively affect the experience of the fun. Yeah, this is what I said. People get stuck in this whole wisdom leecher set, and there's really no incentive for them to like learn and have fun with the game when they could just let somebody else do the work for them, right? So I like that change. You want people to play your game, right? The most telling example of this is the wisdom meal. Yeah, there you go. Challenger, he's on point again. Yeah, like you want people to learn how to play your game. You want people to experience your game as how you intend it, and then yeah. So far A+ for me. Well, let's continue. What is being changed? So we wanted to change what these passes are like and how they're distributed, while taking the opportunity to update certain stats related systems. We'll start by addressing 2 key points that will be involved in changes to be described later on. Changing the critical hit system. Okay, so this whole section here, I did kind of read this ahead of time. Pretty much the crit system is gonna be similar, if not the same, to what you find on PC Dofus, which instead of a fraction of a percentage that maxes at 1/2, crits are not going to be based on percentage, which have no maximum. So on PC, like the Turquoise Dofus, I believe it gives like 15% critical hits, as opposed to 15 critical hits. Right now, Dofus Touch is 15 critical hits. PC is 15%. Big difference there. And this will allow a character to go, if possible, all the way up to 100% crit rate, which is pretty crazy, which is cool. And again, I like this change because this takes out the volatility of a critical hit build. Critical hit, it's like the way to build your character. It's, at the end of the day, this is like the most like optimal way to build your character. And this is your character doing the most it can 50% of the time, which is kind of ridiculous if you think about it. 50% of the time you could have hit really good, 50% of the time, eh. So you guys can read into this. They have this little formula going on, but that's a change of the critical hit. So that says right here, removing the critical hit. And let's go ahead and read that. Previously, it was impossible to have higher than 50% chance of dealing critical hit. After the update, it will be possible for the critical hit to exceed 50%, even go up to 100% chance. Strongest accumulative critical hit bonuses for equipment and spells allow it. However, it won't be possible to bring someone's critical hit chance below 1% if the spell or weapon can't deal a critical hit. NB. I don't know what NB means. The effect that minimizes random effects such as Saram's Jinx spell is subject to this restriction. It so prevents an entity from dealing critical hits. Okay. So that's critical hit section. I think it's a big thing because as much as I like seeing critical hits, we have all been there when your character doesn't critical hit, doesn't get the kill, and it messes everything up. You guys know what I'm talking about. So I'm all for this. I like it so far. Thumbs up for me. Next section here is changing to resistances percentages. There are currently 2 types of resistances: fixed resistances. These grossly reduce damage received and can be gained in unlimited amounts. Excuse me for 1 second. Alright, had a cough there for a second. Percent resistances reduce the percentage of damage received. These are currently limited to a max of 50% per stats. For example, it is possible to gain 60%, but yeah, you'll be capped at 50. A lot of the sets that they introduced via Ancestion Island, uh, they do push your resistances all the way up there, which it's a little bit of a pain, especially in PvP. Nothing sucks more than like somebody the opponent you're fighting is 50% to your element, and when you hit them, it deals like nothing. We'd like to reduce the cap on resistances from 50 to 35. While resistances are useful for absorbing some damage, these stats tend to draw combat pretty excessively, although they drastically limit the variety of so-called optimized equipment, mainly at higher level. Yeah, so a lot of people just run end session gear. Yeah, because I was able to get my Inu. My Inu has the two sets he has. He pretty much has 50% fire, 50% earth. I know a lot of the HO set plus the spectral that pushes your air resistance to 50%. Yeah, so it's out of hand. It's out of hand, folks. But that's PvP. So let's see how that affects PvM, because that's when you need them too. We think that lowering this cap will add significant variety to gameplay and selection of equipment, but without putting PvM players at disadvantage, as classes will generally gain more power and survival capacity over the courses of these. Yeah, they gotta balance it out. Obviously, this changes for PvP, and there's nothing worse than just a match just dragging out for no reason. And I think I mentioned this during the Missive update, but I mentioned this a few times over these kind of videos, where I think overall it's taking the game to a more snappier game session. Everything's gonna be snappier. I do think the game is moving to a more offensive playstyle than defensive, just to keep it with the pacing, because it's a mobile game. You know, it's more fitting for faster play sessions, more bite-sized play sessions, and yeah, I mean, this is right in line to what they've been trying to do for a while now. So I dig it, as long as they balance PvM, especially F3, because those guys hit hard, and yeah, having 40 to 50% resistance against some of the F3 mobs, it helps. It definitely helps. But let's move on to new passives. All right, so this is the main thing about the devlog here. We're going to start describing these passive bonuses for primary characteristics, and then we'll move on to characteristics that are no longer passively affected. Our goal is to simplify and clarify the connections between primary characteristics and passive bonuses as much as possible. So we decided to limit passive bonuses to one per characteristic, thus establishing a clear connection. There's an exception for wisdom, which is associated with damage. Okay, so strength is still going to increase earth and weapon damage, of course. I don't know why they didn't put that there, staying the same. Increase neutral damage. The ratio of strength to neutral damage remains, so it looks like earth or strength is pretty much the same as it was, except you don't get any pods. I don't like that. Yeah, I don't like that. We'll keep going. I'll give my opinions in a bit. Intelligence. Increase fire spells and weapon damage. Increase healing. The ratio of... Okay. I don't like that. Oh, no. Oh, they were doing so good. I've been thinking about this for a while, so I definitely have my own opinions about this. Agility. Increases air spells, weapon damage. Increases dodge. The ratio of agility to dodge has been standardized between players and summons. It will now take 20 agility to gain 1 dodge. Okay, so this makes sense. Like, even from... they were describing, like, they want people to innately get what kind of passive you're getting. Agility, of course, you're agile, right? You're kind of slippery. You're kind of hard to catch, right? So it makes sense that you would gain dodge from it. All right, I like that. That's very in flavor. There's a very simple connection there between agility and dodge. It makes sense, right? It makes sense that agility will increase your dodge. Chance increases water spell and weapon damage. Increases lock. What? Yeah, this is kind of weird. I think there's a little bit disconnect here too. It will now take 20 chance to gain 1 lock. Yeah, this is weird. I don't like what they're doing here so far. Wisdom. Regarding wisdom, we have 2 proposals that each come with pros and cons. So we wanted to present them and get your feedback and preferences. Proposal 1 increases initiative. Initiative is still determined by the sum of other stats, but wisdom will not affect it as well. 1 point in wisdom provides 2 points initiative. Increase in critical hate, critical rate, critical hate. Oh, my bad, folks. Critical rate. Putting 50 points into wisdom will boost critical hit chance by 1%. The stat threshold for wisdom will now use a standard. Okay. Proposal 2 increases initiative. Initiative is no longer affected by additional stats. Okay, so only initiative. Okay. Okay, you know what? Let me get my thoughts here really quick. So this is why, like I said, I had a video planned. I had it written out, and I just had to record the video on it and do some graphic stuff. Well, good thing I didn't actually do it. But a strength, I think strength should be what controls lock, right? You're a strong character. You could keep a character in place because you're strong, right? So that makes sense. That especially strength is usually the hitting path, right? Strength, earth, muscles, right? So it would make sense that a strength character would want to lock something and keep it there so it could beat it up. So I definitely think strength should be tied to lock. Intelligence. What do you think of intelligence? Smart, calculative. I had that pinned with initiative, right? Because you want to start the fight first, right? You're intelligent. You know what to do. You wanna go first, right? And start setting up before your opponents do, because you're intelligent. Your intelligence built. So I would tie this to initiative. Agility, dodge makes sense. Chance. Chance. This is a little bit tricky. It's a little bit tricky because I want to tie chance to critical hit. Because critical hit, chance, elemental, water, right? It's kind of, it ties itself in very well, right? Chance increases your chances of getting a critical hit. But because it is tied to, the water builds, you kind of leave out non-chance characters to boost their chance stat. This is a little bit tricky. Chance, I don't know, maybe AP, MP reduction, perhaps. I don't know. Chance is tricky. If you guys have thought on this, let me know in the comments below. Wisdom, it's kind of up there with intelligence. They're kind of synonyms to each other. But I do like how... I do like... It makes sense that wisdom would increase critical rate. It makes sense because you're wise about hitting your opponent. So I do like that. I do like how wisdom increases critical... your critical hits. I like proposal 1. Chance is just an oddball. Chance. What's another passive skill that's in combat? I don't know. I don't. Maybe they can make something new here. Chance. Yeah, gaining log makes no sense. Cause I'm thinking like my Inu, right? My Inu doesn't want to. My Inu doesn't want to be locking. My Chance Inu doesn't want to be locking stuff. He wants to play far, right? So this would be like pointless. And that's why I do like, because I do play strength and agility SRAM. You know, the double needs lock to work. So chance wouldn't work in the SRAM because like I want to increase my lock, I want to increase my doubles lock. It's like I'd rather not put points into chance. Anyways, guys, let me know where you guys think. How would you guys distribute this? Actually, leave a comment here too. Regarding lock and dodge, lock or dodge gained from stats will be reduced in order to make the stat more valuable when granted by equipment. This will also help harmonize values between elements. Yeah, I do like that. So as to preserve elements of base, specialization without making it to choose an element in a particular area of gameplay. For example, you'll maximize your chance to dodge by using gear with agility and dodge. By using fire gear that grants dodge will be completely viable. Yeah, that makes sense. Regarding wisdom, we decided to remove parry and AP reduction from wisdom stat because we wanted it to become an offensive stat. What? Ooh, Challenger EX right again. Told you guys. The overall game is going to more offensive, snappier gameplay. They want you to be more assertive than just turtling and hiding behind resistances and dragging out matches. We initially considered focusing it entirely on reduction and parry, but Wu had become a niche stat and therefore not useful for too many players. Yeah, because obviously throughout the character revamps, they did move away from a lot of spells that would reduce AP. And even the seller, they nerfed them a lot. So yeah, that makes sense. We were then tempted to add critical hit to it, but it seems like it would be restricted for a player wanting to equip non-critical hit gear to maximize their parry and reduction. So we decided to keep critical hit in that initiative as a low ratio. I think just critical hit is fine. Just wisdom critical hit is fine. Regarding parry AP and MP reduction. Oh, I got a sneeze. Give me a second. Oh, we back. Let me make sure I'm recording. Yes, I am. As explained in the notes on wisdom, these stats will no longer be passively boosted by spending points in wisdom. We like focusing on a reduction path or the optimization to resist it to be done by choosing equipment and trophies first, to encourage research and variety. Also, we think the new limits on percentage resistance will make it possible to seek out new stats on items, exos, or overmage, which would include parry and reduction. For bonuses not mentioned above, the following changes will be applied. Combat experience, instead of being reinforced by wisdom stat, as it is now the case, it will increase based on the player's level, increasing the formula. Okay, final XP, not including other bonuses. Experience gained from combat will be the same after the update as the amount earned by a level 200 with 400 wisdom. As before, other bonuses will still be applied, like, okay. Yeah, so you wouldn't see too much of a difference from just running around normally with your gear that naturally gives wisdom. Obviously, the people who are just full wisdom, in full wisdom sets, They gotta play. They gotta play the game. Prospecting. This too will not be determined by the player's level. Therefore, low-level characters will have less. Oh, I like that level chance than a level 200 character to get resources from the same monster. As strapless are already designed to be simpler at lower levels. The character starting prospecting will remain 100. The prospecting bonus formula will be as follows: PP, player's level. It's important to bear in mind that prospecting itself won't change and will remain useful. Only the calculation used to determine its total value is changing. That means equipment with prospecting will still be useful for increasing the odds of getting loot. Okay. Yeah, it seems like overall these other secondary kind of attributes, they're pretty much trying their best to kind of keep them intact. Pod will not increase as the player levels up instead of via strength. However, professions will continue to provide added bonuses. There will be the new formula calculating maximum pods. Okay. Equipment will also be okay. Yeah, that makes sense. These changes being made to whole characteristics will involve even more changes to various in-game items, of which you'll find an incomplete. Okay. Like I said, the Torque stuff is going to move from fixed critical haste to percentage boost. No other changes will be made, and this will be retroactive. So if your Torquus Dofus gets 20 critical hits, it will now boost your critical hit rate by 20%. 11%, and so on. Ooh, Kawa Dofus. Let's see what they can do with this one. Its bonus will be adjusted either to grant an experience bonus or by increasing its value so that it grants initiative and critical hit in a proportion that's useful but still adapted to low-level players. Yeah, I think when it comes to Dofus, like the Dofus item or the Dofus egg, it should be useful at all sorts of levels, not just like lower level, high level. Like, it's supposed to be this powerful artifact which, you're supposed to take advantage of it, and no matter where you are or no matter what point of the game you're at. So I do like that, because if it gets critical hits, then there's a reason for a level 200 to use it, just to squeeze in a little bit more critical hit ratio on your weapon and spells. Pets and pets by wisdom bonuses. The bonuses from these pets cannot be changed to other effects. However, the max bonus you can earn with these pets will be increased to make them more competitive. And the number of souls to eat will be reduced for soul eater pets. Wisdom, Dragula turkeys. And likewise pets. The bonuses from Dragula turkeys can be swapped out for different bonuses. The following turkeys will be reworked. So all the golden, anything that has a golden Dragula turkey on it. Shigalax, Shigacax, and other consumables that give wisdom, the effect will be replaced with a direct bonus to experience gain. For example, 50% bonus experience gain while the candy. Yeah, I like that change. Wisdom trophies from Progresso packs. Give me a second, folks. Need some water. Okay, we back. Wisdom trophies from Progressive packs. The effect will be replaced with a direct bonus to experience gain. Smith magic runes. Nothing has been decided with the. Give me a second, guys. Alright. We back for real. Nothing has been decided with regard to changes and their scale, but we're going to look at the following runes and consider potential changes to their weight. Okay. FAQ, frequently asked questions. I'm losing AP parry, but mobs aren't. Isn't that unfair? Monsters, like players, have stats, and wisdom is one of those. In the same way players will, monsters will have their passive bonuses from various stats modified by all the changes mentioned above. I have prospecting gear. It's just useless now. Not at all. Although chance no longer increases prospecting, prospecting itself will still be useful. It's just a portion gained from the chance stat on equipment that will disappear. It will be less effective but largely compensated by the bonus tied to the player's level. All stats have changed. Will there be a way to recover our points? Yes. When the update is released, you'll have the option to respend your stats points. We'll share details in due time. So it's my gear that gives 50% resistance in each element. Useless. Who's asking these questions? No set in its own currently gives more than 35 persistence in an element. As for no set on its own currently, on its own. But if you combine two sets, you get pretty close. If not, at 50%. Currently gives more than 35% resistance in an element. As for medium to very high level sets, so a given set definitely won't become unusable by offering too much resistances. That said, it will be necessary to adjust certain combinations to, the set combos, to adapt the new limits, which will make it possible to find new stats and optimizations other than through resistances. So my bonus pack won't help me with XP or drops anymore? Not to worry, bonus packs and elite bonus packs will not be affected. They'll still give you huge advantages for leveling up. Yeah, I don't see why that would change. Strength only boosts neutral damage. Isn't that kind of lame? That's what I said. To us, not having any loss tied to mismatching a weapon is a bonus, which is already very powerful and makes strength competitive enough compared to others. Especially with the separation of lock and dodge into two characteristic points. Maybe. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think about this. I think it's kind of lame, like the question suggests. I think you should give lock. But that's just me. It takes twice as much dodge as lock to get away without losing anything. Shouldn't agility give more dodge than chance give lock? The current system already uses the same formula for bonus dodge and bonus lock. So the gap already exists in the game, and by increasing the number of primary characteristics to end with one dodge or lock, the gap will actually be reduced. Further efforts will be refocused mainly on equipment bonuses and trophies. And that is it. That is it, folks. That is it. Like I said, this is a big change coming to the fundamentals of the game, which is awesome. I know, of course, there are people who are gonna hate it, just leave the game alone. But I love changes like this. I love updates like this, where it just throws a wrench into stuff, mixes things up, because you gotta keep the game fresh. And I'm pretty on board with all this. I dig it. Like I said, this is something I myself been thinking about for a while. They've been thinking about it for a while. And overall, it leans into the whole design principle that they're trying to make the whole game snappier, aggressive, offensive. And let's see what people gotta say here. I don't like the power 35 max res. Yeah, I can see that. I think that's just a PvP thing. 35% is way too low. No, I don't think it's way too low. I think it's fine. Like those PvP fights shouldn't be longer than 10 minutes. Honestly. Guys, seriously, how can you turn upside down the game? More players will leave, not because critical hits, but because you keep bonus destroying everything often. With imagination, though. Stop drinking wine and listen to your customers. I love these comments. More players will leave. Yeah, didn't their last update say they never had so many new players? Year 6 has been like their biggest year ever. Sets off fireworks. Yeah, somebody likes it here. Sets off fireworks. Finally, resist builds are getting nerfed. Yeah, yeah, resist builds are so annoying. So annoying. No more teams. Yeah, yeah, it's gonna take a punch to the meta with the Feka thing. So yeah, somebody likes it, somebody hates it. Actually, there are many sets giving more than 35 res. So many players focus on EXO. Yeah. So Spanish in here. This is certainly drastic. I suppose all I can say is at this time is the wisdom. Do the wisdom that gets critical hit. I'm on board, Tanashko. I'm on board. I'm on board. This is a mess. I like that name. I like Proposal 1. I do like Proposal 1, the chance one. I mean the critical hit. Yeah, I'll be fine if it just gives critical hit. Forget the initiative. Because I would put initiative over here. I put initiative over here. Let's see what else we got. Super. That's a French. I don't know French. So Spanish. All right. So it looks like it's like a mixed bag of people, but I'm on board. Let me know what you guys think. It's exciting news. This is a big change coming to the game, which is the game after 6 years. The game needs it. Like they need to keep things fresh. They need to keep people on their toes. Because people lose interest. They get bored with the game. They want to obviously they want people to keep playing Dofus, and a big part of doing that is bringing in new things, new mechanics, new ways how to do things, new systems. So. Yeah, I dig it, folks. I dig it. But this has been Challenger EX. Until next time, take care of yourself and peace.